chances are, if you've heard it before, the question becomes, what are you doing with the knowledge you have? The two promises I would make to you. Promise number one, you will learn something today that you can use right away, right away. And promise number two, I'm available to work with you further, one-on-one or with a group or church. At the end of the presentation, you would be able to get my contact information if you don't already have it. So those were the two things and the two promises. And now we're going to go through quickly our disclaimer. The information provided in this presentation is intended for general informational purposes only and should not be considered as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. As a naturopathic doctor, I am sharing insights and suggestions based on my expertise in natural health and wellness. However, it's important to consult with a medical doctor before making any significant changes to your health regimen, especially if you have underlying medical conditions, are taking medications, or have specific health concerns. All right, so we can go straight into our presentation. So welcome to our series. This might be a 2, 3, or 4-part series, depending on your feedback and how much more you want to get. And so this is number 1 this evening, the beginning of our series. So welcome to our series on sedentary behavior. And this is a journey to uncover the impact of daily habits on our health and well-being. So over the next few sessions, if we have them, we'll explore the dangers of sedentary lifestyles, and we'll understand the health risks involved. There are some serious health risks involved, and we'll discuss practical solutions for more active and healthier life. All right. So in today's fast-paced world, where technology often keeps us glued on our seats, it's crucial to recognize the significance of our sedentary habits, right? And our series aims to shed light on how these impact our overall health and well-being. So whether you spend long hours working at the desk, binge watching TV shows, or find yourself sitting during most activities, this series is designed for you. It's time to understand the implications of these sedentary choices. So before we dive in, I want to take a moment to think about your typical day. What is your typical day like? How many hours do you spend sitting? Who would like to share?
Sometimes 2.5 hours sitting at my desk.
For the entire day? Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. All right. Anybody else? Come on, folks. If our guests can share, come on. You can do the same. Just share with us your experience. What is your day like sitting? How many hours you spend sitting during the day, doing whatever activity? And let me welcome, I think, Zelda. First time I'm seeing that name. Welcome to H.E.A.L Lifestyle Academy. Glad to have you. Feel free to open your mic and say hi and participate. Good to see Sister Sandra and Mom Muriel, Elder Isaac, our regular Sister Peggy, Sister Nicole, and Dr. Nadej. Welcome, welcome. Sister Lynn, welcome as well. So please feel free to participate. How many hours do you spend a day sitting on average? Your typical day. How many hours you spend sitting?
Too much, too much.
All right, too much. I've counted from 1 to 100, and I've never came across too much. So I'm probably in the millions. I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Lynn.
Usually I spend about 2 hours in the morning and then about 2 to 3 hours in the evening.
Okay, so 2 hours in the morning 2 to 3. So an average of 5 hours sitting a day. Okay, all right. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else?
And Pastor Sandra, as for me, when I wake in the morning and I get going, sometimes I have to force myself to sit in for half an hour to an hour to read and have my worship. I'm not joking. It's true. I just keep on going like I ever ready body, especially have to go
All right,
before.
all right. Good, good.
So
Thanks for sharing.
I even turn my computer off to tell you the honest truth. So I
Oh,
don't
wow.
even know.
All right, there's some more people online. Share with us. What's your average
I
sitting
used
time? Uh-huh.
I used to spend 8 hours sitting before
Wow.
with my previous job,
Mm-hmm.
but now maybe 5 minutes in between and hours would sit 5 minutes for a while and then get up and go again. So I don't spend much time sitting now.
Okay. All right. All right. Good, good. Thanks for sharing, Larry. Anybody else? Take one more, one more. Zelda, what about you? What's your average sitting time for the day? Okay, so Zelda might be shy or
No, no.
yes, yes, yes.
Good night.
Good night. Welcome.
It's probably the time I take to eat my breakfast and my lunch mainly. All the other time I'm just going.
Wow. Wow. That's great. All right. You guys are doing pretty good. Thanks for sharing all of that. Now, if you look on the chair, there are 4 items, right? You should be able to make them out. You have a sugary drink in the glass there, and that equals our dietary choices that affect our health, right? So if we look carefully on the chair, we're seeing some things that could help us and some that could hurt us, right? So too much of the dietary drinks is not good for our bodies. We know that. Even our smartphones, it helps us to be sedentary. It encourages that behavior, not that good. And the blue light on our faces, right? But we also have a stress ball, and this represents the mental toll of prolonged sitting. And then we have an inactive fitness tracker. Somebody just talked about using a fitness device for exercise, what have you, but we don't. Some of us have a device, whether it's an Apple Watch to track your standing and sitting. Like my watch is programmed for me to stand 12 times a day, right? In 12 hours time for about 5 minutes or so every hour. It's programmed that give me a buzz, time to get up, time to stand, time to move, right? But for some of us, we look at these things and say, hey, I know that the drink is bad for me. I know that my watch shouldn't be inactive. I should be using it. I know that being on the cell phone for too long is not good for my frontal lobe. It's not good for my eyes. It caused me to sit. We know that those things are not that good for us, right? They are all likely to be bad for you, but you and most people already know that. Some of us try to limit our indulgences because we know that they are bad for us, right? Yes or no? But the real perpetrator here is not any of those things, but the chair. The chair. The dangers of prolonged sitting and the choices we make in our sedentary habits is right here on this seat. And today we're going to discover just how dangerous sitting for too long can be. So the aim of the presentation is to reveal the prevalences of sedentary lifestyles through compelling statistics, right? And we want to raise awareness about the extensive scope of sedentary behavior and its implications on public health. So let's delve into the numbers that paint a vivid picture of how prevalent this behavior is, all right? So based on a comprehensive study conducted by the American Cancer Society in 2010, they were tracking a cohort or a group of people of over 123,000 people, including men and women. And these individuals were tracked between 1993 and 2016, right? About 23 years or so. And there were some alarming findings that emerged. The participants who sat for more than 6 hours daily, they face a staggering 94% higher likelihood of dying than their physically active counterparts who spent less than 3 hours a day sitting. So somebody tell me, what do you understand by that?
You need to be active.
Okay, thank you. Need to be active. All right. Anybody else?
We were made to move.
Okay, yes.
And when you're active, you are sweating, particularly if you get out to exercise. And
Okay.
when you sweat, you release toxins.
That's right. That's right. Okay, thanks.
You're
Anybody else?
exercising your muscles and your limbs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So notably from the results of the research, the results remained consistent, whether or not there was overall physical activity levels between. Right? I hope you got that. So those who sat for 6 hours or more a day, they faced a staggering 94%, almost 100% higher likelihood of dying than their physically active counterparts who only sat for 3 hours or less. But the results remain the same, irrespective of the overall physical activity levels. And so that demonstrates that the detrimental effects were as pronounced for those engaging in regular exercise. I hope that point is clear. All right. So there are a multitude of health risks connected to prolonged sitting, which are serious and they can detrimentally affect our overall well-being. So the New York State Department of Health said that physical inactivity itself is a significant risk factor for CVD. Who knows what CVD stands for? Anybody knows? CVD?
Cardiovascular disease.
Cardiovascular disease.
Oh, wow. Because I'm smart people here. So I got to be in my P's and Q's. All right. So physical inactivity itself is a significant risk factor for cardiovascular disease, CVD, comparable to the risks. Now, listen carefully. This is comparable to the risks with smoking, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. What do you understand by that? They're correlating physical inactivity with smoking, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Tell me what you understand by that.
Oh, sitting is as detrimental as any of those.
Wow, okay. All right, one more. All right, you guys are shy this evening. All right, so what makes it particularly impactful is the fact that it has a widespread prevalence. Twice as many adults in the United States are physically inactive compared to those who smoke cigarettes. Let me say it again. From the research of the New York State Department of Health, twice as many individuals, adults in America are physically inactive compared to those who smoke cigarettes. So a sedentary lifestyle has been shown to significantly decrease our quality of life and at the same time greatly increasing our likelihood of suffering from today's degenerative diseases. For example, inactivity is associated with an increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, cancer, anxiety, and depression, right? And we are told that inactivity is as detrimental as smoking or having high cholesterol levels. So just how much does inactivity increase your risk? Well, I can tell you, you'll be surprised. So research has shown that individuals who lack regular exercise, and I'm not talking about jumping to conclusions, right? That's not exercise, right? Those who lack regular exercise experience a similar risk of disease as those who smoke or have extremely high cholesterol levels. Yeah? So the numbers will surprise you. According to the American Journal of Sports Medicine, taking a short stroll at work especially, right? Every half hour can help with the harm that comes with prolonged sitting. The study found that a 5-minute walk every half hour reduced blood sugar levels. Anybody here have blood sugar issues? A 5-minute walk every half hour reduced blood sugar levels by over 60%. And it also reduced blood pressure, hypertension, right? So a 5-minute walk every half hour could very likely, based on this research, reduce your blood sugar levels and reduce your blood pressure. Now, anybody knows why this can help to reduce your blood pressure? I know get some smart people here. Tell me, somebody knows.
Your blood flowing.
Right, okay, good. All right. You're on the right track.
I didn't even know it was open, sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. Anybody else? Nobody? All right, all right, all right. Okay. So when we are sitting, when we are stagnant, when we are sedentary, our blood gets thick, right? And when we walk, we exercise, the blood gets flowing. And so when you're sitting down, it needs more pressure for the blood to flow through your arteries and veins, as opposed to when you're walking, when you're moving, right? Your blood is more free and doesn't get a chance to coagulate and get thick and sticky, right? That's what contributes to high blood pressure, right? So staying sedentary comes with health risks like diabetes, right? Because the blood is not moving, blood sugar is just staying right there. Obesity, heart disease, and cancer, and even early death. Now, how many of us who are still working have a standing desk? Or when we work, we had a standing desk. Anybody here? Nobody? All right. So a standing desk is good in itself, but it is not the solution. Why? Because you're just standing still. You're not moving. So whether you're sitting or you're standing there, that doesn't do much for you. Anybody here ever discovered that when you sat for too long, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'm doing these presentations and I'm just sitting down, typing away, trying to get my best foot forward. And when I get up, my feet are swollen. And I'm like, no, I have to do better. I know better. And so when I started to research for this study, I said, definitely, I'm not going to let it happen again. So the whole day while I'm working on this, I'm standing. It felt weird, but I said, I don't care. It's for my health. So I cannot teach what I'm not doing. Make sense?
Yes.
I find that if I sit for too long, like when I get out, literally like my legs are cramped. And I
Right.
literally like my thighs that massage and like slap some life back into them.
Right. Yeah, because the muscles are relaxed, the blood is stagnant, right? And so inflammation can also begin to be stagnant in your body. And you're sitting, the pressure is on your glutes, right? Your behind and your legs. So the cramping could happen because there's no movement, and then your feet begin to swell, right? So moving is the key. Moving is the key. All right. So there's a study done in the Journal of Nature Medicine, and it was entitled Association of Wearable Device Measured Vigorous Intermittent Lifestyle Physical Activity with Morality, right? Big title. Like here is the link for the study, right? So this study found that even small amounts of exercise, like running up the stairs or engaging in one or two bursts of exercises 3 times a day, saw almost a 50% reduction in cardiovascular or mortality risk. Now, is that something that you can do?
Mhm.
Right. It's something you can do, right? And the researchers also found a 40% risk of dying from cancer and all types of mortality, right? 40% less risk of dying from cancer just by walking, right? So do you think there's a reason why we have legs? There's some people that were born without legs. Some people lost their legs for different reasons, and they wish that we can walk. We have our 2 legs for a reason. It's the foundation of who we are. If we don't have legs, we can't walk. We can't stay upright. Make sense? So researchers at Duke University have conducted a study titled Exercise may be just as effective as medication for treating major depression. Now, who ever would have thought that exercise, walking, doing other moderate exercise could help to be used as a treatment for treating major depression as opposed to taking medication. But that's what the study revealed. They conducted the study, and the people walked for a 30-minute walk, brisk walk or jog for 30 minutes around the track 3 times a week. And they found that this may be just as effective in relieving the symptoms of major depression as the standard treatment of antidepressant medications, right? Now, somebody once said, what is simple to do is also simple not to do. So some of us, we go to the grocery store and we look for the parking spot closest to the door, or we go to church and we're not thinking about the elderly who can walk too well. We want to park close to the door, right? And we don't want to use our legs. So think about this, right? You get up in the morning, you may sit to have breakfast, you might get into your car or somebody else's car or a bus to go to work if you're still employed. When you get to work, you're sitting down, working. Then you go for lunch, you're sitting down. You come back to your desk, you're sitting down. On your way home, you are sitting down. When when you get home, you may go to the toilet, you're sitting down. You may come to watch the news, you are sitting down, and then you roll into bed because you're exhausted from the day's activities. So if you really check the amount of hours that we sit, it can add up to a whole lot, a whole lot. We are told in the book, Healthful Living, page 176.6, right? Morning exercise, walking in the free, invigorating air of heaven, or cultivating flowers, small fruits, and vegetables is the surest safeguard against colds, coughs, congestion of the brain, inflammation of the liver, the kidneys, and the lungs, and 100 other diseases. And what is a cure? In this statement, morning exercise, walking in the free, invigorating air of heaven. So you're either walking, taking a nice cool walk as the sun is rising early in the morning, or you're cultivating flowers, small fruits, and vegetables. And this, as you inhale the fresh air, as you communicate with the flower, you talk to your plants, they can understand you. They've been proven scientifically, right? Every living thing has energy that it gives off, right? And we are told that Adam communicated with all living things in the Garden of Eden. And here we are being told, we have given a simple prescription to get rid of colds, coughs, congestion of the brain, inflammation of the liver, the kidneys, and the lungs, and 100 other diseases. And what are the 2 options? to achieve this? It's on the screen.
Walking in the cool air and cultivating plants and flowers.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so exercise also lowers your insulin requirements and helps to stabilize your blood sugar levels. Now, you see on the screen here, endorphin. We have heard that word before, right? Endorphins, you have the receiving cells, the endorphin molecule, and the transmitting cell. Now, the materials known as endorphins are discharged whenever you exercise. And the benefit is that you have an overall feeling of well-being. And your body is now able to deal with stress, all from exercise. Now, there are some mental benefits. As we were saying before, it improves our well-being. It makes you feel good. It increases your energy, your efficiency and endurance, and it won't let you down later. Outdoor exercise is a valuable weapon to fight off depression. Exercise enhances your ability to handle life stresses. Especially after work, exercise. Like I tell my wife all the time, as a nurse practitioner, she walks up and down all day. I said, but baby, after work, that walking is different to the after work walk, to the after work exercise or walking. That is to relax your body, right? To help you to unwind and leave you feeling more relaxed. It's very important. It also improves your quality of sleep. Exercise benefits to the body in many other ways as well. For example, weight control, right? Simple exercise could improve your weight control. It helps you attain a desirable weight. Your exercise not only burns excess calories, but also speeds up the body's metabolism for several hours. And the question becomes, did you know that regular, moderate exercise strengthens your body's natural defense mechanisms, the immune system, and help you to stay well? It does, right? It also strengthens the bones in your feet by helping retain and deposit calcium and other materials or the minerals. Now, there are more bones in both of your legs and feet than anywhere else in your body. About 50% of the bones are in our legs and on our feet. So God designed us to move, all right, not sit idly by. So what kind of exercise can we do in trying to stay active and not be sedentary? So every one of these exercises or benefits I'm about to tell you can be obtained from plain, simple walking, right? Walking places the least amount of strain on your ankles, on your feet than other exercises, right? It's an ideal exercise. It's inexpensive, it is safe, and nearly everyone can do it. So engage in some form of physical exercise nearly every day, as much as possible, right? So throughout the week, you should engage in a minimum of 2.5 hours of moderate to intensity exercise, at least 2.5 hours. If we choose, this time can be broken up into more than one segment throughout the day of at least 10 minutes each time, right? So we've come to the end of our presentation. I don't want to sitting for too long. You see, I've been shortening my presentations. So I want to be real to what I'm teaching, right? So now it's time for us to participate. And I want everybody here to really participate. Take a moment to reflect on your personal experiences. How has sedentary behavior influenced your well-being? How has sedentary behavior influenced your well-being? And we're asking that you would share your stories and let's navigate towards healthier choices together. So who'll be the first to share?
Sedentary behavior affects me mentally. I become more depressed. And it's almost when I realize what's going on, I literally, even though I don't feel like it, but I have to use my intellect rather than how I physically feel. My intellect tells me, you got to get up, you got to go outside and breathe some fresh air. I also spend 2 to 3 hours per day in the gym. I make myself go. And it's always enjoyable after I'm finished because I feel refreshed and a lot more vitalized and vibrant. And my thinking capacity is better. My studying and focus is better. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks for sharing. Who's next?
Well, Pastor, as for me, I have 2 big dogs, so whether I want to go, although I have a gated big yard, they were broken from baby stage to walk. So even when we had the cold the other day, sometimes I think my neighbors must wonder, that woman still out in the cold walking the dog. So I am out. I make it a practice because it's beneficial to me too. So, and if I'm here and I feel a little down, I go on my trampoline. I would say tired. If I feel like tired, I go on my to be honest, I don't really get down. But if I go on my trampoline, all of a sudden I just feel revitalized, like I could move the whole world. So I know what moving is like. And coming out of the nursing field, I used to work in the operating room, the neuro division. So you don't sit. So it's something, even now, I will more stand than sit because it's something that has become such a part of my life that people say, can't you sit down? But I'd rather stand than sit even now.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing. All right. Who's next?
Being sedentary has caused me to be like really, really unmotivated. Because I used to be a walker. I used to walk a lot. And then I injured my foot and I realized that I was in bed for a long period of time and then, subsequently developed diabetes. But then I realized that if I don't make myself get up and go, I won't. And I'm more prone to like just, and if I allow myself, I could literally sit for the whole day. Just grab something to eat, sit. Go to the restroom, sit. Do nothing at all. So it's just like, and that has helped me. That is very detrimental to me because I'm not motivated to move. So now I'm at the point where I have to literally tell myself, get up and go. That's one of the main reasons why I came on tonight, because when I saw the flyer, I was like, well, yeah, I really have to get on. Because there are truly serious consequences to not moving.
Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing. And if you have type 2 diabetes, you should know that is reversible. It's entirely reversible.
Oh yes, I know.